Alrighty, welcome everyone. We are going to go ahead and call this meeting to order at 5 p.m. As always, please make sure that you're sending your ID numbers to Karen so that you have been recorded for attendance. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. We do not have any guest speakers today. Are there any questions or concerns about last week's minutes? Seeing none, we'll jump right into department reports, starting with academic affairs.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. So I just wanted to keep it really short because we mentioned I'm still figuring out exactly what we're going to do this semester. So Casey will be handling our PR campaign about lockdown browsers. Prima will be emailing Zach Gorman once again about webcams for professors. And Ren is working on a mental health initiative. Not sure exactly what we're going, but it will be in regards to academics because we want everybody to make sure that they are starting off the semester right and then maintaining good mental health throughout the semester.
Great, thank you. Moving to campus affairs.
Um, Hello guys. So update on the Beck alarms. So Erin did contact our BUPD, and so they did a couple of programming changes to that alarms over there. So hopefully that would help. And the system is pretty similar to the residential hall one. So they think the system itself is not the problem. And so they said if the problem continues, they'll put up signs. So the problem is holding doors for too long. So don't hold doors for too long. But if the problem does continue, they said they'll put up signs to remind people to not hold doors. But yeah. And we have a new project idea for a committee. We're working on what's in the very new umbrella stands. So we're gonna have umbrella stands throughout the campus, so students can use umbrella in the rainy season to just go to classes across campus. But it is still in the very beginning stages, and so we're going to look through the logistics and how much it will cost and stuff like that to see if it's still possible to do. um, and yeah, I'll keep you updated as we move on.
Great, thank you. Moving on to campus safety and community relations. I'm sorry, I can't see. Is the chairperson present? Okay, since not, I will go ahead and read their report. Um, it says we made it through quarantine. The new campus restrictions were rolled out today. They are a significant step in a positive direction. Um, Brian from the committee will be working on an infographic. Caitlin will be working on a feminine product push in the dorms. Joshua will be reaching out to BUPD about student well-being and safety polls, and Peter will be reaching out to the SAO about Title IX speakers. Moving on to internal affairs with Karen.
Alrighty, everyone. So let's see. We need two people to volunteer to be part of the curriculum and education committee. I thought we had people in it, but apparently the people who had agreed to it just weren't able to do it this semester. It's not insanely demanding of your time. So if you are interested, DM me and I can have you be appointed, and it's a really quick and easy process. Or not DM me, send a chat. Also, Emma and I are gonna be hosting an informational meetings for the elections. It's not mandatory. It's really just for people who are interested in running, really don't know what it's about, don't know what they need, they've never really ran. We're just gonna kind of do a quick, Q&A, go over the basis. So if you're interested, it'll be this Wednesday at 6 p.m. or 6:30. And then my committee and I are going to be working on new bylaws. So the tentative date to vote the new bylaws in is February 15th, depending how much we get done today during our committee meeting. But that is just the tentative date for right now. That's it.
Great, thank you. Moving on to public relations.
Like off of what Karen just said, yeah, there'll be an informational meeting. It's
I think we lost your sound.
Still can't hear you, no. David, we can probably just move on.
So like you were saying, that information has been posted on our Instagram page. So go take a look and repost that, share it. Moving into student body executive reports, starting with the Director of Administration, Brandy Wayne.
Hi everyone, happy Monday. I hope everyone's Monday's been good so far. If not, I hope hopefully it gets better with a few hours that are left in it. If it's not today, I hope your week is good. I'm sure everyone saw the email with the campus guidelines. As far as SABRC is planning a second late funding event. So if your organization still wanted to host an event, SABRC for this semester, SABRC is hosting another late funding that applications will be due prior to February 28th, but the hearing is February 28th. So please get those in if your organization is interested in doing that. Besides that, for our fall funding, those will be hosted the second and third weekend of April. So for those specific dates and times, please be on the lookout in the minutes. Thank you guys.
Great, thank you. Moving on to my report, just briefly, Bradley Police Chief, Chief Josh Sko, will be joining us as our guest speaker next week. I will send this in the reminder email, but just as a reminder publicly, that when we do have guest speakers, we want you to have your cameras on and be in business casual from whatever they can see in the camera. Very professional for our speakers. So just that reminder there. Moving on to President of the Student Body, Emma Hoytia.
All right, if you haven't already, put your committee letters in your name if you could. Went to Board of Trustees on Friday. It went really well. If you have any questions about what was talked about there, I'm happy to share with you. It was mostly just kind of internal stuff for the Board of Trustees, but the person that's leading up the strategic planning for the next 5 years. So there's a strategic planning committee that kind of keeps up with the strategic plan in place and like keeps it up to date. But then every 4 or 5 years, there is a new strategic plan that is created, and that kind of projects what will make the university successful over those 5 years. And so that's being led up by Aaron Buchko, who is a ML professor. And he's really cool. So if you have any questions about what that strategic plan is going to look like, he didn't give any super specific things, or I left early or something, but I can look it up for you and talk you guys through it if you're interested. Sent over the questions that we came up with for Speak Up over to President Stanford. We're going to get that date and time set up. And then this Saturday is going to be the Missouri Valley Conference Senate Coalition preliminary meeting that I believe I've mentioned to you guys before. I think about half of the people that I emailed have responded. Some of the feedback that I've gotten is that things like this have been pursued in the past by other kind of groups of people. So like a Chicago coalition has been pursued and it kind of fell flat. So this Saturday is going to be a meeting to kind of figure out what do we want it to be, because with the Big 10 schools, there's a very set in stone kind of coalition that keeps everybody in line, has their own constitution, has their own executive body. So we'll see what we are all interested in. But that is all that I have.
Great, thank you. Advisor reports, Advisor Coy, anything?
I very much apologize for not getting my report in. I think I put it on last week's minutes or did something genius of that sort. So Brandy, I have these notes kind of taken down and I will pass them to you so you don't have to try to collect my ramblings. But I do have some updates. First, I want to kind of give a thank you to Erin. She sent me basically 14, 15 good questions about what would the new quarantine lift look like that we're using actually for our questions and answers. And on top of that, I'm not sure if it was Erin, her whole committee or how, but it was awesome. And from there, some more conversations started and I was able to do some work. So thank you very much for that. Regarding to the guidelines kind of opening, at the end of my report, I'll take any questions specifically about the student organizations processes or anything of that sort if anyone has that. But I wanted to talk a little bit about some details related to that and then kind of some peripheral stuff because all I seem to do as part of my job right now is deal with COVID. So some directed emails came out today from the Kara Wood, Director of Student Activities, letting student organizations kind of clarify with the process, everything from there. The key thing to let constituents know is that once they put a reservation in, which they can now do starting today through event services, that is only a tentative reservation until they have their COVID safety plan. It's important to know that the COVID safety plan must be received 5 days in advance of when the event is. The COVID safety plan is listed or available in the presence application, and that's where it's filled out. We have people who are going in and reviewing those every single day, assigned to kind of go in there and get clearance. So the sooner you get in, the better. But if you know you put in a reservation for a space in March, you get that plan in, you'll be approved, everything's good, but your room is only tentative till that's filled out. Other things I want to let people know about is the Garrett Center, as you all know, has been renovated and is being updated and everything for that. For the general campus population, that space will become available to start being booked. So the first open booking day for the entire campus community will be February 22nd. So starting that day, it will be available through the regular room reservation system for people to go in and book that space. So that is something that is going to be opening up. Today we went through, we did audit, we set it for COVID safety spacing, kind of did all those things. And now we just have to input a lot of information into that. I will let you know that any organizations that identify or that the Office of Diversity and Inclusion identifies as a culturally based organization that is pseudo housed out of that office will get a 1 week kind of buffer book before it goes open to the entire campus. We're trying to let our cultural organizations use the cultural center because spaces are in such high demand this semester. So that booking will open a 1 week earlier. One thing to also know that is in that space, the space is not open at all times. It will only be open for events. Only if there's a meeting, an event, something occurring. Otherwise, the Garrett Center will remain basically on lockdown for space and everything else of that sort because they did invest a lot of funds into it and everything else from there. One thing also to mention is for student organization events, there will be a staff, an event staff, so a student worker, student staff assigned to the event who will be in the space from the start of the event to the end of the event. Again, it's a nice space, it's unsecured, and likely there's no professionals in the building at the time of the event. So that's going to be a change that's being put into place. Switching gears, some of you may have heard, and we've been given some questions already about athletic events happening in the Renaissance Coliseum and people being able to come and watch the event. What has occurred as of right now is that each team is given 25 tickets that they can use for immediate family of the players. So there's only 25 tickets, one for the home team, one for the visiting team, and it's not open to student, public, or anyone else. It's not a ticket that people can buy and go and watch. This comes to us through the Missouri Valley. And so this is kind of the process we have. So there's been a lot of people who thought athletic games were opening up and how do I be one of the first 50 to get tickets? That's not actually what's happening. It's limited to basically family of the players. So I just want to provide that clarification. Also, and this one, I'll give credit again to Erin. This came directly from her committee's question, and it was about marking and marking regulations and whether or not in this letting up of COVID policies or ending of our campus quarantine, if things in Markham would be changing or situationally. So I will let you know that probably by the end of this week, information will be going out to the student body, basically with a return to intramurals occurring or to organize intramural events being able to happen for the student body. Now, there is some caveats to this, such as the sports classified as high-risk sports will not be able to be happening in Markham. So the biggest one this really impacts us with is basketball. Basketball will still not be permitted to play in the Markham Center. And the only time that people will be able to play these activities is in the intramural process, basically. So for example, racquetball will be returning and we will be able to let people play racquetball, but only during IM links. People won't be able to go play separately. Volleyball will be returning. People will be able to play in the IM volleyball leagues and everything, but not during general times. This all comes down to contact tracing. We need people to be able to be tracking and everything of that sort, and that's the guidelines that we've been given. So it's not a full return to normal activities, but there's going to be intramurals and stuff to do, which is a big improvement over many of the conditions we've had in the past. And then lastly, please send me information or questions you have. One thing that I just found out yesterday was that I work out of the campus rec office, and then I'm also working remotely partially. But I found out that the TV in the student center has been working for 4 weeks. Basically, the one that shows all the advertisements of all the things going on campus. So all the different events and programs we've been talking about, it's just been showing the time on those 2 TVs since the start of school, and actually since before the start of school. So if you ever see something that looks wonky, please don't hesitate to reach out or mention it here in constituency reports. Because it's kind of funny, on all the other TVs, there was all these Black History Month program, events, information, things going on. And those 2 TVs were just showing time, but we couldn't fix it if we didn't know it was broken. And that's not just on the students. Like, there's about a dozen faculty staff who should have spoken up, but they just didn't. So, but if you have any questions about anything else, and always remember, I'm a resource, whether it's by email or talking to me out of this meeting. But again, like I said, the work that Erin and her committee kind of did, or that her committee members sent in, was really helpful and was able to steer it. And again, I will send this to you, Brandy, so you don't have to try and figure out all those ramblings. I'm so sorry. And that's the end of my report, unless there's questions or things people need clarified. Sorry, Emma, it was so long.
Don't gotta apologize. That's awesome.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Tom.
Sorry. I put it someplace. I don't know where I put all these announcements, but I don't know.
All righty. We're going to move on to constituency reports. Any constituency reports? A reminder that you would state your name as well as your position. Seeing none, we have no unfinished business. We have no new business. Public comments. Public, are you there? Okay, no public comments. Any announcements?
If you guys like Cody Coe and Noelle Miller, they're doing a Zoom event. I'm personally very excited about this. I don't know if anybody else is. And one other thing, this is just kind of pseudo Senate, but just kind of because it's something I'm curious about. I was talking with one of my professors about the question, like when organizations ask their customers, what's the thing that we do that hurts you the most? So if anybody could like send me their thoughts, like if you were to ask yourself, what is the university doing that's hurting me the most? I think that's a very interesting question. So if you could just send me any of your thoughts on that, whether on email or in the chat right now, if you can think about it quickly enough. But I think there's lots of potential in those answers. So.
Alrighty, thank you. Any other announcements? Wonderful. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Second.
Motion has been seconded. We stand adjourned at 5:21 p.m.
All right. And as you're thinking, you can still feel free to send me in the chat, I think, even if you're in your breakout rooms. But I'm going to open them now.
Emma, can you put in the minute whoever you said, Cody and Cody?
Yeah, Cody Coe and Noel Miller. Yeah, I
I
can.
didn't know how to spell it.
Brianna, where are you going?
I'm a part of the exec. I'm kidding.
Yeah. IA, sounds good.
Ready, place.
Ha. So funny, David. Can you send me to PR? I don't think Ani checks the chat when I message him, like ever.
All right,
I think I
there
got
you go.
put in the wrong one as well. I'm campus.
Unfortunate. That's unfortunate. And I know that too.
No
You're like
worries.
you that I really know. Okay, let's see. Where did I put you? Did you? Ah, yes, put you in CSCR. There we go. CA. Got
Perfect,
you.
thank you.
Can you put me in DI?
Yes. Oops. Yep. There we go.
Bye.
Ah, there we go. Okay.